Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IAS classes. Let's begin a discussion on the current events of 23rd January 2019. The first issue in news is regarding the review petition against the Supreme Court's judgment on the Sabrimala issue. The court has said that it would fix a hearing after consulting Justice Indu Malhotra, who was a member of the five-judge constitutional bench which delivered the judgment in the case. Justice Indu Malhotra had delivered the lone dissent in the five-judge constitutional bench majority judgment and had declared the exclusion of women based solely on the menstrual status, that is, the prohibition on women aged between 10 and 50 years, as an essential practice, and had held that imposing the court's morality on a religion would negate the freedom to practice religion according to one's faiths and beliefs. This dissenting judgment has since then become a rallying point for the review petitioners who contend that reform cannot mean rendering a religious practice out of existence on the basis of a PIL petition filed by third parties who lack belief in the Sabrimala deity. The petitioners argue that the right to move the Supreme Court for violation of fundamental rights must be reserved for those whose personal rights to worship have been violated and not to the third parties, which may create further problems. What's to be noted here is Article 137 of the Constitution provides the Supreme Court the power to review any judgment pronounced by it. However, review is a rare remedy and is not an appeal whereby an erroneous decision is reheard and corrected. The next issue in news is regarding the rising cases of swine flu. As per the data released by the Integrated Disease Surveillance Program, 49 swine flu deaths and 1,694 cases have been reported in just one fortnight between January 1st and 13th, thereby putting several states on alert. Also, Rajasthan alone has reported 31 deaths in this period, with other instances being reported from other states such as Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and Telangana. The H1N1 influenza virus is a highly contagious acute respiratory disease of the pigs caused by the type A influenza virus. The swine flu viruses do not normally infect humans. However, there is a chance of infection with direct exposure to pigs, and also there have been cases of human to human spread of swine flu. The Union Health Ministry has said that there is no cause for panic and has asked all the state governments to create awareness about the spread and ensure that there are enough beds and medicines to treat any reported cases. What needs to be noted here is children younger than 5 years old and adults who are 65 years and above, particularly patients with respiratory disorders like asthma, obese adults, and pregnant women, are in the high risk group, thereby demanding the state governments to take proactive steps in this regard. The next issue in news is an editorial regarding the relationship between inflation rates and the policy rates determined by the RBI. The inflation in consumer price index stood at 2.19% in December, which is at an 18-month low, while the wholesale price index stood at 3.8%, which is at an 8-month low. This is way below the projections of the RBI, which has maintained that the CPI projection would be in the range of 4.4 to 4.8% for the second half of the fiscal year 2019. In this regard, the Monetary Policy Committee and the RBI may well want to reassess the robustness of their inflation projection mechanism in the light of this new data. There may be also pressure on the RBI for a rate cut due to various factors like the fall in the factory output growth, the slowdown in certain sectors like automobiles, where sales have been falling over the last 2 months, but there are diverging trends with respect to inflation, like core inflation, which excludes volatile items like food and fuel, still stands at close to 6%, and also there is a divergence between core rural and urban inflation. These divergence and volatility in different subgroups are a major challenge in inflation assessment and projection. However, The RBI must also look into whether the interest rate structure is lacking behind the big structural change in inflation in the last few years. Therefore, a relook at the interest rate structure is demanded for, and it remains to be seen how the RBI responds to these demands. On that note, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the fiscal health of the central and various state governments. As per the recent data released by the government, the center's total debt as a percentage of GDP has reduced from 47.5% in 2014 to 46.5% in 2017-18. On the other hand, the total debt of states has been rising over this period, which is a cause of concern. The Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Review Committee, which was headed by N.K. Singh, had recommended the ratio to be 40% for the central government and 20% for the states respectively by the year 2023, and had further noted that 60% consolidated central and state debt limit was consistent with the international best practices and was an essential parameter to attract a better rating from the credit rating agencies. In this background, the increase in the debt stock at the state level is worrying because they don't have the wherewithal to service the debt if it were to go beyond a certain point and thereby create a debt trap situation. One of the reasons for the increasing debt at the state level is the outstanding liabilities of states, which have increased sharply during 2015 to 2017 following the issue of Uday bonds in order to improve the DISCOM health. Given this, it is highly unlikely that the states will meet the 20% debt to GDP ratio target by 2023, but the report suggests that states do have some fiscal space to reduce their borrowing in the coming years due to the large cash surpluses they hold. On that note, I'm wrapping up today's news analysis. Do like, share, and comment to support this initiative. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.